Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Well, hello. What's up? What's up? What's up, Bears fans? The Bears. Welcome back to Bears on Tracks, brought to you by Chicago Sports Podcast. And I'm Brandon Trax Hyatt. And today we're breaking down three signings that the Bears just made to strengthen their roster heading into 2025. But first, let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend, downtown Chris Brown. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. You making me blush over here a little bit, but I'm good.
Oh, man. How you feeling today, buddy? And what is it? What's the weather like in California there, bud?
Usually it's cold in the morning, a little
Yeah.
warm in the afternoon, and then at the night, cold again.
Yeah.
So, I'm dealing with it today. New hoodie, new day. So,
Yeah. We got that daylight savings time. So I was, looking in my around the house, and I'm like, something ain't adding up. And I'm like, hold on. It's too early for this daylight savings time, but I guess it's not. So yeah, I lost an hour. I had to put this together pretty quick. But anyway, so let's look in. These aren't, Chris, these aren't like blockbuster moves that make ESPN headlines, and get everybody all wild out and stuff. But let me tell you right now, this is how winning teams are built, Chris. It's about smart roster construction, filling key holes, and making sure every piece of the puzzle fits. The Bears just signed tight end Durham Smythe to a 1-year deal. So, I mean, they're not locked in, forever, but it's an interesting sign, and we'll get into that a little bit. Some guys that you're familiar with already, cornerback Josh Blackwell to a 2-year deal, $6 million for that, and linebacker Amen Ogbongbemiga to a 2-year, $5 million contract. Man, I wish these guys would take it easy on their names, man. They are killing me over here. But today, I'll tell you exactly why these signings matter, what the analytics say, and how each player fits in to the 2025 Bears scheme. Before we dive into that, folks, make sure you subscribe, because we're on a mission from God to push for 3,000 subscribers. And when we hit that, we're giving away an NFL jersey.
well, here I am again. Oh, so basically, we're going off of just the roster moves that are going down with the Bears this year. And some of these roster moves, they add depth, flexibility in certain spaces. And we're going to go over those today. What my boy Brandon was saying is, when we get to reach our goal, we're going to give away a jersey of your choice. And I'm just gonna keep talking until he comes back. But it's a great deal. But we just love talking Chicago Bears football and stuff like that. And we're gonna go over these roster moves, like with Smythe and Blackwell as well. So hope you guys enjoy it. I'm ad-libbing, as you can see. And we're gonna see how everything goes once he gets back. So give us let's say a minute. There he goes. All right, all right.
God, man, I got to figure out what's going on with that 2 days in a row. That ain't no bueno, man. That is no
Hey,
good.
hey
So,
man, it helps me out a little bit because I gotta be
yeah,
on my toes and know what we talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all right. So hit that note bell, guys, and let's get started with Durham Smythe. If you're not excited about this move, you should be. This isn't just some type of random depth signing, guys. This was a targeted move by Ben Johnson, and I'm here to tell you why, guys. First, let's talk about the role he fills, okay? The Bears need a second tight end who can block, pass protect, and take pressure off Cole Kmet because, Lord, he knows it. And in Miami, Smythe was one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. According to PFF, Pro Football Focus, he had a 74.5 run blocking, ranking him ninth. That's right, top 10, ninth among all tight ends in 2024. I'm going to share a video here in a little bit, break it down for you so you guys can see what he's all about if you haven't seen him already. Second, his connection to Ben Johnson is magical. Back in 2020, when Johnson was the Dolphins wide receiver, he worked directly with Smythe. That means Johnson already knows exactly what he's getting, folks. He's smart, he's reliable, he's disciplined, and fits that type of offense the Bears want to run. And let's be real, guys. It's all about Caleb Williams right now. And a second-year QB needs protection, a strong run game, and reliable safety valves in the passing game. And Smythe, he provides all three. And here's what stands out in the numbers, guys. Played in all 17 games last season, never injured, started all 17. 32 receptions, 275 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Allowed just 2 pressures in pass protection all year long. So let's get right into it, man. Let's cut the tail of the tape because the tape never lies. And let's watch how he seals the edge on these blocks and helps keep his QB clean, man. Here we go. Get your popcorn.
Operation this time trying to pin everybody deep, and it's fielded on the far sideline. It's Blackwell, a little bit of trickery in the special teams game, and Blackwell is going to take it all the way for a Chicago touchdown. 94-yard return, his first career punt return touchdown, and the Bears take a 6-0 lead.
Great job by the Bears special teams and Richard Hightower. It's one of those situations. Where is the returner, but where is the football? Because you're going to think he's over there, but he's actually up here. And nobody from Green Bay really locates that punt as it's going downfield. And they
to get that touchdown on the board for Chicago.
Great sell job, because the one thing DJ Moore can't do backed up inside his 10 is...
All right, well, that was the wrong video, but that was all right. That's we'll play that again. So I'm getting better at this, a lot better than yesterday. Anyways, let's get back to Smythe. Just so you guys know, that was not Smythe on a fake punt return, okay? This is Smythe. Get your popcorn out again, okay? And then we'll play that video again for context.
Operation this time trying to pin everybody deep, and it's fielded on the far sideline. It's operation this time trying to pin everybody deep, and it's fielded on the far sideline. It's Blackwell, a little bit of trickery in the special teams game, and operation this time trying to pin everybody deep, and it's fielded on the far sideline. It's Blackwell, a little bit of trickery in the special teams game. And
all right, well, let's talk about Blackwell while I try to find that video. I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, I've downloaded Blackwell twice. So, okay, so now that we've already seen what he's capable of, next up is Josh Blackwell. If you don't know his name, that's okay, but you're going to want to. This guy is one of the best special teamers in the league, and the Bears locking him up on a 2-year, $6 million deal is a huge win for the third phase of the game. Here's why it matters last season. Blackwell played 328 special team snaps, which was the most of any Bears defensive back. According to PFF, he graded out as a top 15 gunner in the entire NFL. That means he's one of the best at getting downfield, forcing fair catches, and shutting down returners before they get a chance to break free. Let's talk about his 4.34 speed in the 40-yard dash. That's elite, guys. That's exactly what you need on kick coverage and punt returns. And it's not just about speed. He's a playmaker. Last season, he had 9 solo tackles on punt coverage, 2 forced fumbles, and allowed just 4 catches in limited defensive snaps, man. So, what do you think about all of this, man? Where do you stand with this while I try to find that video of the other guy, Smythe?
Well, for me, one, it adds depth to the secondary because we know the NFL, but people get injured, they get nicked up, and you're gonna need a guy to step in. And we have a corner that has speed, speed, something you can't teach. It's something that you can rely upon. Now, when it comes to his special teams play is pivotal because that third phase can shift momentum. So if you have a guy that can get down there and make plays before the returner can get active, then that could play a huge role as far as field positioning as well. And because of his speed, it makes him a good player that when you put on trick plays and special teams, you can actually put him in that pivotal role, and he can make plays like we see on that punt return for a touchdown. So it plays a lot of he can literally play a bunch of roles on this team. Not pivotal roles as far as defensively, but special teams absolutely.
Go ahead, man. I'm looking up that video.
Oh, all right. So I can go even further as far as it goes. So, the Gunners are really pivotal because when it comes
Hey
to
guys, breaking news, breaking news. Von Miller was just released from the Bills, so that's something to look at.
ooh, mhm. See, I have to think about that because that ACL injury, I got to see if he trusts that leg. But other than that, if he can get back to the Vaughn he was 3 years ago, that'd be a great thing to look into as well. But back to Blackwell. Blackwell has the speed. He has the playmaking skills on special teams to, keep defenders from getting outside of the kick coverage. He can actually prevent it. It makes it easier for the punter to not out kick the coverage as well. And when you have guys like that, it makes calling special teams plays that are not traditional, like fake punt or a punt return fake. It makes it more easier to go to because you have guys like that. So I actually like the signing. I like the fact that we added depth to the secondary. And we added a guy that's very good on special teams. So I'm really excited about that. And while we're talking about it, since we brought up Smite earlier, I can actually talk about that too. Is a guy who when it's time for him to show up in particular plays, especially when he was in Miami, he showed that he could be relied upon as an outlet and as a blocker. It helps with the run game. So it's not just he's a guy that could just leak out, catch a couple of passes once in a while. He's one of those guys you could rely upon to seal the edge, and also chip on that edge as well. That's rushing the passer. So when you have these type of guys that can just the little things in football, the little things in football matter, and they're reliable in those aspects. It goes a long way as far as a team game is concerned. And then as a pass blocker, it also can help the issues that we've had on the left side when it comes to protecting the quarterback. So if we have blitzes coming, have that guy sit back, you can rely on him to pick up his block, and Caleb Williams can sit back in the pocket and just dot it up all day. So these roster moves are more strategic than anything because of the fact that these players they provide more than just what their position says. Like with the Durham Smythe, you get a guy that one when you look at the head coach and that coach and his history as a coach, you could tell he knows what he wants in tight ends, and you could tell that he knows what he's getting as far as Smythe is concerned. So I have no issue with it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to see the video, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But these two signings that we've talked about so far, they provide a lot of I would say flexibility as far as certain things, as far as play calling and variety as far as what they can do on the team and what roles they can fit. So going into the training camp after the draft and after we cheer on the picks that happen with the Bears, it's exciting to see what they're going to do with these two pieces or these two players, and as far as like placing them on the field. So I'm real excited about that, and I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. Like the little things matter in the game of football, man. Game of inches. So Brandon, how we looking over there, man? Okay.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
All right, cool. So um I really am looking forward to these. So we're gonna look into this a little bit more and show you guys what I'm talking about as far as the excitement and what these guys bring to the table. We already seen the Blackwell punt return for a touchdown, and now when we get the chance, we're gonna see some film on Durham Smythe, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about as far as like him being a reliable target, check down, and a reliable blocker as well. Because if you can't run the ball, it makes it stressful on your quarterback, on your passing game, because defensive ends are going to pin their ears back and they're going to rush the pass at full speed. And also, if you can't run the ball, you're behind schedule when it comes to the chain. So Ben Johnson's putting together what looks like to be a masterpiece as far as his roster is concerned, and he looks like he's dotting his I's and he's crossing his T's. And I know you guys are excited, but just for the little things, I'm really excited about all these potential moves that we're making and the moves that are being made within this past weekend. So it's yeah,
I
get your
got it.
popcorn ready.
I think I got it. I think I got it. Let's see.
Oh, all right. We gave like I bought time so they can add butter. So now we
No,
can see the
yeah,
film
yeah,
now.
yeah. Got the butter, got the cheddar over the top, the sprinkle. Here we go.
All right.
Had time to do a lot. So, all right, let's see here. Share that. Okay. Here we go. Full screen it. Oh, no. Go back. Can you hear me? All right, we're back. So, what did you think, bro? I'll tell you what, man. Talk about a guy that can hold the blocks. He can get down the field. He can roll out for screen passes. He sees it, man. He's got a motor. He don't stop, man.
I like the fact that when it comes to contact, one of the things that is key is ball security. He's the guy that he shows speed, and he could be a reliable a second, third, even an option that you can provide when defenses are shifting coverages to other receivers on the field. So it's not a guy you could really sleep on, even though he's not a top tier name when it comes to the tight end position. He can make his impact in certain plays that's drawn up for him. So it once again it adds another piece, and once again it's now another target you got to look out for. So you're looking out for DJ Moore, you're looking out for Roma Dunze, and then you're looking out for Cole Kmet, and now you got to worry about Smythe when all those guys can be covered. So it's once again it's just a game of getting the guys open. And when you get those guys that have reliable hands, protect the ball, get yardage, fight for extra yardage every time when they're about to get hit, it helps make this offense productive. It doesn't have to be a deep shot all the time. It could just be a 6 yard pass to the flat, or just a 8 yard like catch up the middle, and he provides that. So and even on that last play, you could split him outside, and it's just another piece that you could really be sneaky about using when it comes to an offense. And when you look at Ben Johnson's resume, the man knows how to be sneaky with his play calling and be very deceptive, and just basically just get after you every which way with every player on the offense.
Yeah, shout out to Barrelismo. I like what he says. Didn't see wasted footwork on his sit route. Shows good vertical separation because of that, and he understands the zone well. And Phil's being nice. He said, "Good job, Trax. I'll do a lot better next time." But man, that was fun. I love breaking down the video and clipping it and all that stuff. It was a good time. Shout out to Barrelismo. Give me a hand a little bit with that. Somewhat. And we're all a community. Next time we do this, it's going to be interesting, because I'll tell you what, we're going to get better and better at these videos, obviously. And in the last 2 days that Chris and I have put this on, we've came a long ways. I mean, you could see the clipping of the logo and all that stuff. Could you hear me while the show was going on? Could you hear me talk or no? Were we muted?
Oh, before the video went up, or when it was up?
During the video, yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't hear you that particular moment. But I did something that's also key too. He's quarterback friendly. When you seen Tua scrambling, you can see that he came back to the ball and sat in the window within the zone and just get his hand in the air. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh, I'm open right now. Deliver. I got you. So that's the type, like, especially when you have a quarterback going second year into the league, you need those type of guys. And the Bears just added another
Yeah.
piece that can do exactly that.
Right. Shout out to KO Sports giving us a heads up about the Von Miller. Thank you about that. Von Miller was just released by the Bills. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got over 30 on YouTube and almost 20 on XApp and Facebook with the goose egg there. Got a little bagel going on. Yeah, that was exciting. That was fun clipping that video. I thought I could hear you in the background, though, while the video was going. I'd like to play that really quickly one more time and see if we could hear each other. Well, it'll take a second. Might as well.
Yep.
Let's see
All right.
here.
I thought I was quiet as a church mouse, but we can see.
Yeah.
I probably coughed or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see here. Test. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Yeah, so we could actually break this down. Why don't we do that? Let's break this down so we get reaction. I might be doing the video this way now. I kind of like this option where you share the screen and get right into it. So let's pull this all the way out, and now we can talk. Yeah, we're moving on to, this century here.
Get
Here we
my
go.
Sports Center on.
Let's go. Let's go, buddy. And then I'll pause if I'm in the middle of something and you want to, address something. Let me know. So we're working, folks. This is behind the scenes. Get your popcorn. Hopefully you got a big bucket because you're gonna need some kernels. Here we go. Look at that. Look at the roll. Roll out left. Oh, get right up.
I don't think I can see it.
Nice. Oh, I'm not sharing it.
Yeah, you holding it all to yourself. You're supposed to
Oh
share it to
boy,
the people.
I'm holding it all to myself. I keep sharing the screen. Hold on, let me share it. Maybe that's where we can't hear it once we start to share it.
Okay, let's see when it's mute, because I think you turned the volume on, and then I think it kind of just muted us out when you did that. So see if you could do it while it's mute, and then see if we can roll with it from there.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you.
All right. Can you see the screen?
Hand up, right there.
You can see the screen. All right. Oh, little fumble.
Find a way in the zone. Get the head back to the quarterback.
Nice.
Look there. Open in the zone. Quarterback.
Look at how many times those slow snaps. It's ridiculous, man.
Turn around. Straight up the field. North and south. Hands up. Every time he's open, his hands up to the quarterback like, I'm there.
Right away. He does not go down right away, folks. I love this.
No.
I'll tell you what, Cole Kmet, you better get ready. You better get ready because this guy's coming for your job, pal. He can block good. He's top 10 tight end blocker, and he can catch the ball, and he does not go down. These are against good teams. We're up against Baltimore, folks.
That's the Baltimore defense of 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tua, big strike.
Number 1 defense in the league. He's doing that again.
Got hit hard and still brought it down.
Yeah.
Take 2 or 3 of them. Now against the Superchargers.
Here we go. Roll out. Come back to the quarterback. Hands up. Make the catch. Cover the ball. Hands up. Head back. Ready for a pass to be thrown.
That's what he's talking about with that zone.
Yep, right there. Slow it down. Don't run to the safety. Amazing.
He's a zone beater, folks. He's a zone beater. Man. And he was going for the hard yards. He goes well past the first.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of good stuff going with this guy. A lot of good stuff. Killer deal, too. Great contract. Great friendly contract. He's going to be hungry. Man.
Protect the ball. Hands catcher. I noticed one thing we didn't. I noticed one thing throughout that whole film. One thing I didn't. One thing I didn't see in the film was one body catch. All I seen, everything was caught with his hands. That's what I mean by a reliable target. Like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing against body catchers, but it's just that when you have that guy that can literally, every time the ball goes to his hands and you don't see it drop, that's something you see. You see it a lot. You see him slow it down in the zone. So the quarterback has a reliable target in the holes, doesn't run to the safety. You see it as soon as he gets to the spot, turn, hands up, give a little sign like, hey, I'm open. I got you for 2 more extra yards.
Nice.
Those things they keep an offense on schedule. They're not plays that's gonna just be on Sports Center's top 10, but those are gonna be plays that are pivotal for an offense to methodically move the ball down the field. He can be moved around. You see him on the wheel route. You see him, come underneath when it was the play action and catch a pass or run for extra yards. He's gonna get you hard-earned yards. He's not gonna be easy to bring down when he gets up, when he starts going upfield. That's a guy that can make plays. He's not going to make you the top 10 plays, but he's gonna make the plays that keep your offense going.
We got some good responses from the chat, man. Bearlismo says Cole and Durham played at Notre Dame together. Phil says nice quick release from the line. See him just give a little bit of wiggle in the hips to read his key. And then Bearlismo says your mic is hot. Cool. I wish I could have saw that. We're getting it all together, Bearlismo. Like I said, I wish you were my neighbor because I wouldn't be coming over for flour and sugar, bro. I'd be like asking you for some of that knowledge, man. Did you see this too? I noticed I put my my desk up higher so I had more of a eye contact directly with my camera that I got back there, my ZV-10 Sony. And I noticed one thing. Watch this. Watch what happens when I do this. Now I'm level. So that means my camera is on the tripod. It's off. So we're getting these little things all quirked out, man. It's one of those shows where we get it all dialed in. Well, we'll look back at this, Chris. It'll be our blooper reel, you know?
Hey, you gotta, when you start new things, there's gonna be things you gotta, tweak and tinker around with before you can start running full speed. I get you.
But hey, I'll tell you what, I want to, since we got a hot mic, you know what though? It's not a hot mic when I go over to do it on the other film because I'm not sharing it the other way. So yeah, we won't be able to give them that that audio in the background. So, but I've got a way to do that now. That'll be fun. That'll be interesting. All right, let's get back into breaking all this down, man. Breaking all this down. Yeah, so we went over the Blackwell thing. And like I said, we got two special team guys, Amen Ogbongbemiga. Somebody please help me pronounce this, dude. I don't even know what's going on here. This name is just crazy complicated for me. I can't figure it out. But like I said, between him and Blackwood, this is what separates good teams from great teams. Special teams win games, and the Bears just kept one of their best weapons in that phase. I mean, look at that was the game. You saw the body language. You saw the head coach. You saw the special team coach. They lost their doo-doo when the Bears scored and did that fake punt return, just like they did years ago with Knox, man. So, but finally, let's talk about linebacker Amen. I'm just calling him Amen. How about that, dude? Another guy who won't make the headlines, but this is a type of signing that prevents disastrous midseasons, guys. Let's be honest. What happened last year when the Bears linebackers got hurt? The defense fall apart, but Amen is here to prevent that from happening again. What I love about this signing, Chris, is his versatility. He played both inside and outside linebacker. Last year, he was a core special teamer at the same time. Here are his 2024 numbers, Chris. 42 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, 75% of special team snaps played. You need reliable versatility guys like this on the back end of the roster, Chris. And that's exactly what Amen brings, man. So let's break it down really quick, Chris. What do these moves mean for the Bears? Durham Smythe strengthens the offensive line, protects Caleb Williams, right? And improves the run game. And he's an additional weapon, also in the end zone and when those hard yards matter. Josh Blackwell keeps the Bears special teams elite and adds depth at corner. We've seen him before. He does great at corner also. Amen provides much needed linebacker depth and versatility. I love these moves, Chris, but I want to hear from our fans out there, our Chicago Bear fans. Drop your answers in the comments below, guys. I got 5 burning questions for you, and then we'll let Chris weigh on this. Let's grade the Durham Smythe signing. You going to give it an A, B, C, D, or F? What would you say, Chris? What would you grade it, buddy?
I'll give it a B plus. And it's why, because when you look at the film, you see what he's done, you see what he can do, you see the ability, the football IQ to just decipher zones and get himself in perfect position to be available to make plays in case, the play breaks down, the quarterback can't go to with his first read. He has that old reliable target. So, and then on top of that, he's great at run blocking, and he's a great pass blocker. So you can have him help pick up blitzes. So when you have a guy like that, that when he doesn't try to shoot the guy, just get from north to gets from south to north to south. When it comes to just going down the field, it plays a pivotal role. And then on top of that, when you look at a team like that, and I've been saying this for years, when you have a team that has great receivers, but then at the same time they have two tight ends that can catch the ball and block, it makes it difficult for defense to get a beat on what you're trying to do in certain personnel. So now they could go 21 personnel, and you don't know whether it's a pass or not. They could put Cole Kmet out in the slot if they feel like it, and then now you got Smythe at the tight end position in case they could run, they could pass, whatever the case may be. This
Yeah.
this this makes this offense even more difficult to decipher through as far as what they're going to do. It's hard to get a read on what they're trying to do. Play calling, because of the simple fact of the matter is they have pieces that are versatile and they can use them in all these different ways.
I tell you what, somebody dial up Cole Kmet's contract. I would be willing to ship him off as much. Hey, listen, I love Cole Kmet, local kid, whatever. I don't know what happened. I think Ben could probably use him, but I'll be honest with you. If we could do something with him and trade him away and go out and add a free agent, there's plenty of free agents. There's plenty of draft. If we go draft a guy, we get some draft picks for Cole. What would Cole look like on the open market if we traded him for, what kind of draft pick would you get? And could you replace him? I tell you what, if this guy was my number one tight end, I'd have no problem with it all, especially the fact that he could block. If he's the number one guy, think about if he's on the field, not just blocking, but also catching. I mean, he could be a very dangerous weapon, man. He could be a very dangerous weapon, and that would relieve us of some salary cap space that we really. I'm not trying to, Chris. I'm not trying to be greedy here, but it's just an idea, and they've been floating that around a lot lately. But question, that's what I want to know from the chat. Does anyone know what that contract looks like with Cole? I don't know what that is, what that looks like. I'm going to find that out, but let me ask you guys another question while we're trying to figure this out. How should the Bears find another defensive end? Type F for free agent or D for draft? You guys think that we should go and get a defensive end as a free agent or out of the draft, or both? What do you think about that, Chris? I'm going to dial up this Cole Kmet question.
If it was me, I would say F and D, because the thing about it is that when you look at the guys that are available in free agency, they're up there in age. The best of the pass rushers that are in free agency, they're up there. They're around their 30s. So I would want to get a young guy in there. So you bring in that guy who can be a great rusher now, and can teach the young guy how to do some of the same things, that the little things that they do that get them to the pressures and all those sacks, and then you can build him up and not throw him on the field early. I honestly think when you're in the NFL, what two teams have taught me, the Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, you can't have too many pass rushers. There is no way you can have too many pass rushers. And then on top of that, now you bring in this rookie that you can add slowly into the rotation, and now he gets that that playing experience. He gets his feet wet as far as like how it goes in the NFL, how it feels to go against the NFL tackle and stuff like in a back that's chipping and all that other stuff. So I would get a free agent that is reliable, but I will also look in the draft to get somebody that can be their predecessor as well.
I agree with you. I think we we draft a defensive end. Leave it in the comments below if you guys want us to dial up and do a video. not today, but in the future, we could do a video of some key defensive ends, and let me know who you would like tracks to dial up, and we could do, a highlight video of 2-3 of those guys and put it together. And maybe look at, I'll tell you what, we'll do like 2. That's what we'll do. You guys are gonna put me to work, aren't you? We're gonna do 2 free agents that you guys got your eyes on, since I like what Chris says. Chris is cooking. I'll tell you what, 2 free agents and 2 of your guys' favorite draft defensive ends. Let me know who that is, and we'll put it together. We'll make it a collaborative effort between us all, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, like you said earlier, who was that? I think Fildo said this. He said 4-year, $50 million was the last. Yep, that's what he signed. So he's about due about $11 million this year. That's not terrible, but I'm not seeing the productivity. Not that he was used the right way, but the man has not been blocking too well. Maybe, just maybe. And I got to use the same tongue about the tight ends as I did the offensive line, and not being held accountable and being shown and helped out when they're not doing their, due diligence and blocking well. Those coaches holding them accountable and showing them how they could do better. So should we give him an extra year? This might be his last year. I know in 2028 he becomes a free agent. So if you do get a guy in free agency, if you do get a guy in the draft, if they trade, however, whatever, and Cole stays on the team and these guys elevate, he might be donezo, man. He might be gone. So, but hey, if not, and he turns into one of the top tight ends in the NFL, then that's even better, right? So I think I've almost talked myself out of the idea now. Keep him one more year. Keep him one more year.
I see it like this. It's hard for me when you have a guy. Now you have a guy like Smythe. It's hard. For me, it's easy to see that if you want, you can actually use Cole Kmet in different ways now. You have a 6'6" target,
Yeah.
and he's a hands catch. He could be a hands catcher too. And when you have a guy like that, that is a mismatch nightmare for linebackers and safeties. And if you put a corner on him, that corner's probably going to be cooked. So it's like it's difficult for me to just leave that out of there, because when we've seen him when he was the only target,
Yeah.
he was able to produce. So now the
Sure.
thing about it last year is that you had a guy, you had Keenan Allen, Odunze,
Right.
and DJ Moore. So now his productivity kind of shrank. And from what I've seen, he was a bit nicked up. And then on top of that, he wasn't getting as many opportunities. So I totally get where you're coming from as far as like, because of the contract. But I honestly think you keep that guy around, because now you add flexibility within the play calling of the offense, because now you have this 6'6" target, and now you got this other tight end that can block, and then he can operate within zone coverages, and he can actually draw coverage to himself if he's productive enough. Now you leave this 6'6" target on 1 second, 1 DB, 1 linebacker. It's a mismatch nightmare. I really do think we give him like a let him finish the contract, or at least finish this year. See what he can do. See how Ben Johnson uses him in this offense. I really do think this guy can have a great year just because of the signings that we've made.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Chicago Dude, Quattro Eights says Kmet will be more productive without Allen, but is replaceable. I agree. We need to keep it a buck. That is definitely something that I'm looking at. Scottish Bear, he says free agency and draft do both for edge. I agree. Same thing that Chris Downtown Brown said. Scottish Bear also says Cole has nearly 23 million guaranteed money. We have next to zero dead money on him now. Wow, that's something to look at. We have next to zero dead money on him. That is important when it's in terms of trading. That almost makes it seem, and maybe that's why a lot of people are floating the potential of trading out Cole Kmet. I mean, hey, listen, guys, we got to keep it a buck. This is exactly what a coach looks at when he comes in. He wants his guys, and not that he can't work with guys that aren't his. It's just sometimes if you can do more, with more, that is what that's what I'm looking at. So be ready for that. Be ready to pivot, but I could see both sides, and I'm cool with either way, by the way. I'm cool with either way. We're just exploring options. Now I want to get back to that name because where was it at? He showed me how to pronounce it, man. Here we go. Ogbongbemiga. And then he tries to throw me another tongue twister. Barlissimo, you slick Willie there. He says, give me Talanoa Hufanga. I hope I did that one right. I think that guy could put a pouncing on tracks,
I know who's that. I know exactly who that is.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I could see him in my mind right now, but I can't spell. Hey, listen, do us a favor out there, guys. Shorten the name on the back of the jersey. That's like that dude. What's his name? It's not Skip. Kip. His first name is really cool. It's like Skip or Kip or something like that. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I just go with my first name because his last name is very, very fancy. And I'm just like, keep it easy on the older guys, man. Jeez, oh, Pete's. Bear says, keep trading away picks and get older instead of draft, develop, stay young. Bears blueprint is backwards. Hard to rebuild with only 5 picks in 6 rounds when Eagles have 8 picks and 7 Ravens 10 draft picks. I do believe we have 7 draft picks right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't go out and get 8 or 9 when this thing is over. Listen, last year we had 4. We ended up with 5. The year before, I believe we ended up with a plethora. So I'm not worried about that. And remember, when you go out and get free agents, that's like drafting also. When you go get a free agent, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. With these guys, when you go out and draft guys, all they are is potential. So take that for what it's worth. While you have free agent value, you also have draft pick value. So let's not get it twisted. Both are equally important, but I see your point. You need to have a good mixture of not only the free agent, the veteran depth, but also the younger into the draft, and keep it filtering, get a good farm system. I agree with you to a point, Bear. Good point, Bear. He says, why don't you trade away draft picks? Ravens have 10 picks in 6 rounds. Eagles have 8 picks in 6 rounds. Bears have 5 picks in 6 rounds. Good luck staying young and development long term. Yeah, it's
I can answer this. I can answer this easy.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, when it comes to building a roster, you want a little bit of both. You want to stay young, but at the same time have that veteran leadership for all these position groups, and then you have someone that can teach these young guys how to be successful in the NFL and play, or just play their role. So the thing about it is, we acknowledge the NFL for star power, but the star powers that are in there, but the thing about it is, that makes a big role, that makes a big impact, even though a lot of people don't acknowledge it, is the role players. So these role players, they make it so it's easier to bring get the best out of that star power that you have on that roster. Now, when it comes to bringing in young guys, the thing about it is, when you're a young guy in the NFL, you heard it from a lot of guys who've played, and they talk about their rookie year. They say the game is very fast. And so when you do that, for some players, you have to simplify it. Now, if you have veterans in that locker room, you don't have to really rely on that young player to produce immediately. You can let the game slow down for him. And then you can see how that, if that untapped potential can blossom into a player that you can keep around that organization for years to come. Now, I understand staying young, but it's a double-edged sword in staying young, as it is a double-edged sword in going old. So old is more like for right now, young is building the future. Thing about it is, if you go too young building your future, your image, your right now can be in danger. So I like the fact that the Bears are they're trading away picks, but they're also bringing in veteran leadership. So it's not just, they're going just one way. They're doing what's best for the team, whether it's drafting going by youth, or they're bringing in a veteran that can get the best out of those young players.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you make up some good points. The chat makes some good points. I believe everything serves a purpose. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got polls in the building. We got Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is clearly getting his two guys, right? So we wanted this guy. Now we got him, and now we don't trust him. Are we saying that he's spending too much money in free agency? Is that what I'm seeing out of the chat, or are we just saying both? Because let's keep it a buck. I don't see any big dollars being thrown around really potentially as far as these, not even the offensive linemen. I could see those, in especially with this tight end. This tight end ain't bad, and those special teamers. I mean, you saw what Blackman did in that game. I mean, Blackwell, he basically, that really pulled us away from the Packers. That punt return was epic, man. That was huge. They'll always remember that. We'll always remember that. Heck, we remembered it when the Knox one went down. But here's a couple things that I like that the chat's saying, man. Let's give it back to the chat. I feel like they're not getting enough love today. Chicago Dude Quattro 8 says, Tyler Warren and Josh Simmons, you can trade up with one of your twos and even a pick. Receiver Komet, you trade him. I do like the Tyler Warren deal. A lot of people are talking about that. I watched a show earlier this morning about it at about 4 a.m. And man, I'll tell you what, that guy is insanely crafty. And could you imagine having a gadget guy like Tyler Warren on our team? That would be really cool, man. I like your point. Bear says Swift caught 42 passes. Komet caught 47. Rome caught 54 passes. Swift had 400, or Caleb's 3,500 pass yards. It's going to look a lot different with competent coaches in the building. Phil says, try saying that after a few beers. He's talking about that tongue twister name. I know. I know. Chicago Dude Quattro 8 says, trading 8 picks where Sweat and Jackson will be the only contributors on the team is an odd way to rebuild when this team was years away from playoff contention after the roster tear. Listen, there are some, I don't know if you're aware of this, Chicago Dude, but there are some insanely priced offensive linemen this year. I mean, there was a dude that probably even you, Chicago Dude, wanted, over there with the Kansas City Chiefs. And that dude wanted 25 mil, and probably would have cost even more if he would have came to Chicago. But I think he's going to probably take it easy on the Chiefs, and they're going to, reward him in the long run. And, I mean, I don't think these guys are a bad deal at all, especially when you get a 4-time Super Bowl champion, a guy that's played with Tom Brady, a guy that's played with Patrick Mahomes, and now he's coming over to us. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at that at all, one bit. I think Thuney was a really good guy. Bear says free agency is spending huge, guaranteed money on someone else. Draft picks for a short term. Bear says free agency is 1 to 2 years fixed. Short-term, long-term solution is when you draft and develop talent. But that is if the talent gets developed. Sometimes guys don't make that leap over in the NFL. When you go get these guys in the free agency, you actually get to see who it is that you got to go out. You can't get everything. Listen, if you think that we're only going to be able to go get 8 draft picks and all of those draft picks are going to hit, you're ridiculous. There's no way in hell you're going to hit on every draft pick, and there's no way in hell you're going to draft or pick up every free agent and everything's going to work out. If that was, Everybody, all 32 teams would be rolling around with perfect rosters. It just doesn't happen. It just not happen.
And to go along with that, this is what I've been trying to say. It is, and he's right. It is about when, long term is when you draft and develop talent. The thing about it is that you got to put that talent in a position to develop properly. And when you look at a lot of players that have become greats in this league, what is the constant theme that they're talking about? They're talking about the vets that they had before them and how they have played a big role into them becoming the player that they are just by teaching them the little things that they didn't know coming into the league.
Yep.
So that's why some of these free agent signings, they may not be big on the stat sheet, they may not be big as far as playmaking, but when it comes to bringing up that talent, it is really important, because now you have a guy that's been there, you have a guy that's done that, and he can guide you through everything. Even though he probably doesn't have that same level of potential, he is that mentor. And a lot of players, when they come into the league, they need that guy, and when they don't have it, a lot of them don't pan out that way. A lot of them don't develop properly, and because of the simple fact that the team went young and they threw the guy out in the field early.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who it is. Bears fans, any fans are still going to complain. Whether you go get a guy in free agency, whether you go get a guy in the draft, there's still going to be complaints. Nothing's perfect. At the end of the day, everybody wanted Ben Johnson, and they're already complaining about the guys that he's going out and getting. And, Dennis Allen is going to get his shot too at guys. And don't think for a second that, I like Hightower. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's a good special teams coach. He went out and re-signed guys that are important, that guys matter. And let's keep it a buck, man. That offensive line was atrocious, and they're making lateral changes for a cheaper, more economic deal. When you go look at what on the open market, what Tevin Jenkins is going to cost, it's going to cost a lot more, because on average, before Poles, cooks, and restructures that contract, you're looking at a little over $9 million per year for and so that's not bad for an offensive lineman. That's not bad at all. I think he did good. I think he did right. I don't have a problem with it at all. We watched the highlight reels yesterday. Everybody was jumping out of their seats. We had a good old time about it. Today we're complaining. I think he's doing good. Listen, all those offensive linemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and drafted 3 offensive linemen in the first half of the year. They had a tough time. Towards the end of the season, they got better. But don't tell me with freaking 68 sacks, we're going to go in there with all rookie offensive linemen, and the only guy that's going to be there is freaking Darnell Wright. It ain't going to happen. There's no way, no how. It cannot happen. Keeper Trapakeepa says he reminds me of Thor. Warren is good. Campbell says draft Genty if he falls. If not, grab Mike Green. I've already seen where Mike Green's stock is falling. There's a couple things that they brought up in the combine where they didn't like how. Now he did good over there in the Senior Bowl, but his stock's already dropped. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know where he's going to be at. I think he's a guy like Von Miller, where he's.
Oh, I guess I get a time where I can give my input on Mike Green. I think he has talent. I just think he just raw talent right now. He got recruited as a wide receiver at Marshall, and then made the switch to defensive end. So I really do. If there's a guy that that I think needs that veteran leadership before you put him on the field, I think it's him. I think he needs to know a lot more about playing the position, be able to use more power, and then instead of just speed and trying to have that generator's power. I really think he can be that guy. I just think he needs a year or two to sit behind that one vet that's kind of similar to him. So he could be like, hey, here's how you do this. I mean, you're doing this too much. add this to your repertoire. Like, you can't just have one move as a pass rusher. You have to have multiple. You have to be able to transition between moves. And that's why, and that's the thing I think Mike Green would struggle with if he's on the field early. I mean, you could tell him see ball, go ball, but at the same time, you're having him going against some of the best in the league at pass blocking, and they're going to have film on him from prior games, read keys, and be able to stop it. So he has to have multiple things in his tool belt as far as like the ways of rushing the passer. And I think a year or two behind a veteran that's a reliable pass rusher on the last parts of his career would benefit him more than anything.
Who are we talking about?
Mike Green, the defensive end, that the former wide receiver turned defensive end that's coming out of Marshall.
Oh, yeah, we had one of those already. I think I don't even know if he's on the team anymore, but I'll pass on Mike Green. He reminds me of the guy that we're trying to get out of the. I think he is gone, isn't he? Who am I talking about? That project guy. It wasn't even. We cannot take. Listen, we cannot take stabs at people that may or may not freaking work out. There's no way. We're not that team. There's teams out there that got a bona fide, solid defensive line all the way through. Mike Green is that guy to go on that team. We cannot afford to have a guy like that at all.
I wouldn't take him as a high pick, but if he was to fall into the third or fourth, I'd go for it. Just because if you get if you get a Khalil Mack, if you get a Trey Hendrickson, if we get a Von Miller, you can have that guy learn underneath them and come into the league like after a year or two, and he could be productive because of who's the person before him. So I would have no problem getting a Mike Green. It's just that where at. That's where it depends on. Like, I don't want it to be the reward has to be able, like, the risk has to be able to see the potential of the reward, and you have to set it up so he can be that guy or have the opportunity to be that guy. I don't think he's ready to be a NFL defensive end just yet.
No.
But I've seen guys come in here and just tear the whole scene up, and we know his name after year one. So I just think he needs. I just think he needs that leadership.
Like Booker, I want to see Booker out there more. If we go get Mike Green, then where does Booker go? I mean, we've already got that. And I'll be honest with you, I'll keep it a buck. I think Booker, if he keeps, rounding out, I think he's going to be a fine guy. I'm not sure about that take, but you know what? I'll take it for what it's worth. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I just think that someone's going to jump on him early, and I don't think that we have. I really don't. And, to the chat's point, now we go get a Khalil Mack 33, 34. We're definitely getting a lot older. Trey Hendrickson 30. I could see that. At least you get another 2-3 years out of him, but then you're wasting, 18, 20. I don't know. That guy's going to be pretty expensive. If Khalil Mack's 23, I'm saying Trey Hendrickson's at least 30 mil. I mean, let's be honest, I think Trey priced himself right out of a Chicago Bear job. I don't think we can afford him. And then here's the thing too. You got him and you've got Sweat coming up on the same, age. Now you're going to be looking to sign two guys at the same time at that age. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. The chat is loaded up. We're going to try to get to you guys, less of us, more of you, hopefully. But it's really hard to not be reactionary to what you're saying, because there's a lot of good stuff you guys got. Genty says if he falls, if not, grab Mike Green. Okay, we went over that one. Bear says Darnell Wright in 2024 allowed 30 pressures and 3 hits blocking. Thuney in 2024 allowed 25 pressures and 6 QB hits. The difference was Mahomes avoiding pressures and throwing ball when he gets hit. May
I when it comes to that one?
Why not? Hey guys, hold on. We got to talk some more. Go ahead, bro. You should see my list of guys we got to get over.
Woo.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot of chat here. Go ahead.
All right. So when you look at the situation with Thuney, that was most of his pressures come from when he was kicked out to tackle, because the Chiefs have had issues with tackles all year long. So they thought, okay, we're going to put one of our best guards out of tackle. Hopefully that would change what's going on the edge of the offensive line. And it didn't work out. So as a guard, he played great at guard. So I wouldn't see the Bears kicking him out to the tackle position anytime soon. I believe he's going to stay at guard, and he's going to be productive like he's always been his whole career. When you're in at guard, it's a different thing when you're in at guard versus when you're in a tackle. So you're most likely not going against a guy who is a faster rusher like you do on the edge. You're looking out for certain different keys. You're looking for inside backers on blitzes, picking up the defensive tackle. Just stuff like that. You're not maintaining the edge where you have to basically maintain the I would say the C. And what I'm saying is basically how the edge rusher rushes. So at the same time, you have to maintain. You have to be able to be outside in case kick step outside. Be able to combat the speed rush, but at the same time, you have to prepare for speed to power, which is one thing that he was having trouble with as a tackle. But as a guard, you don't really have to worry about that so much. It's not too much lateral movement going backwards. It's usually just, I got to maintain the guy that's in front of me, look out for the stunts, stuff of that nature. So Tooney as a guard, keep it that way. Tooney as a tackle, let's not do that. Let's learn from the Chiefs dire situation, and let's not do that. So when it comes to Tooney, he's a great guard, even at his age.
All right, where was I at in the chat?
My bad. I had to address
I
that
can't.
because it was
I can't.
like
Well, I can't load the chat.
people.
I can't load the chat now. I'm trying to load the chat. I hope I can get to these guys.
I had to address that. I had to address that because
Yeah.
my biggest issue sometimes is people, they look at the stats and they
Yeah.
think the stats cover everything that happens towards the season. We also got to look into the context. What's happening on the field? Is there a position change? Is there a breakdown in certain things that is happening? Is there an injury? Stuff like that. So it's not just the stats tell the results. The film tells you how do you get to those results. And when you look at the film, it's not. It doesn't really tell the same thing. It just shows he's not really great as a tackle as he is a guard.
All right, I got a lot to read. We've already lost some people in the chat. Hopefully, I can get to your comments before I lose internet or we go off on another detailed. All right.
Yeah, my
Uncle
bad.
Fuzzy, what up, boys? Shelton 73, Dahlman a 77 in Madden. Why are we quoting Madden? Are we playing football right now or are we talking video games? Chicago dude says, I don't have a problem with any of these trades. It's only a problem because of Poles' draft history in rounds 3 and 4. Thuney in 2025 gave up 4 sacks in the Super Bowl. Barrelismo, you quoting Madden ratings? Okay, I'll leave it there. He just said what I said. Drew Coleman and Madden 69. Oh my God, agility. Come on, Bear. What are you doing? Track's internet has dropped out again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to have to call, man. It's getting ridiculous. Dahlman doesn't fit Johnson's run scheme. Okay. The free agency market is poor with offensive line depth. The trades are value with the overpriced market. Big Joe would cost a fortune, and we would probably miss out to New England Patriots in free agency. That's a good point. I mean, once you let it hit the open market, you no longer can go get that guy. I like that. Hopefully we can get to more good points in the chat. Chicago dude, Quattro 8. Hopefully Ben Johnson can adjust his Madden sliders if they sign him. Oh my God, quoting Madden ratings as supportive argument.
He said adjust the sliders.
Chicago dude said,
He gonna change the speed threshold.
Yeah. Or I like it when the NFL players get a hold of the Madden and say, raise it up because you got it too low for me. Chicago dude says Ben Johnson will edit him and move. A simple Google search, Drew Dahlman, bad snap, will show in his 9 games he played in 2024, couldn't snap the ball to Cousins. Snaps rolling on the turf and below Cousins' knees all 2024. I do know he is correct on that he did have issues snapping the ball. I will give him that. Bear says, how did Cousins look behind Dahlman? Dahlman can't snap the ball. Years of snap miscues. Sometimes his snaps are way off targets. Trapakeepa says, I agree. Green can develop into a monster behind the right tutelage. Baralismo says, didn't Dominique Robinson play for Miami of Ohio? That's who it is. Dominique Robinson. That's the guy that we freaking got. That's what Mike Green makes me feel like. And right now, I do not want that. I want proven guys. I want guys that I know for a fact that we can hang our hats on. I don't want another freaking. I don't want it. I'm not ready for it yet. Not saying that that's not the way to go. I just don't want it. Baralismo says Mike Green is legit. He's like Jared Verse, but more twitchy. Okay, I will definitely take note of that. Uncle Fuzzy says Dahlman is more of an outside zone blocker and not a gap blocker. Phil says, I see the Bears signing a DL and a defensive end veteran tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. I hope they do a lot tomorrow. Uncle Fuzzy says, not sure we should pay a guy that much who doesn't fit the system. Okay. Chicago says around 2 defensive ends probably won't be a day 1 starter. Around 2 defensive end probably won't be a day 1 starter. A free agent edge is where they're going. Okay. If the Bears shift defensive more and sweat contracts down the line, the Bears should free up a further 30 mil. That's what we were talking about yesterday, guys. We were talking about shifting the contracts of DJ Moore, Sweat, and I think was it the defensive back? Yeah.
You're probably talking about
He just got a big contract.
I would say shift the contract of Edmonds.
Edmonds,
$72 million contract when he signed.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good point. For sure. There's 3 of them that I saw that helped them into the 30 million range for sure. Fuzzy says sign Ryan Kelly for cheaper and draft Zabel. That is a home run. I love that, Uncle Fuzzy. I want Kelly so bad. Pro Bowler makes sense. The dude is a freaking solid center. If anybody knows offensive line, it is Ryan Kelly. That dude is a stud. I would love to see him. He's actually younger than also. And Bear says Ryan Kelly is a 2024 Pro Bowl center and a 4-time Pro Bowler. Yes, bring him in for a 1-year deal, draft, develop, replace him with a draft pick in the draft. Dahlman never made a Pro Bowl, 40 starts in 4 seasons. All right, we're getting there, man. I got a mouthful here. Chicago says Dahlman's injury history for $20 million is questionable. Bears have enough injury-prone linemen on cheap deals. That's my main concern. Uncle Fuzzy agrees. Phil says, do the Bears then sign a player at 10 of position or need, or the best player on the clock? What do you got to say about that one, man? What do you think they're going to do?
I think it depends on how free agency kind of works itself out. If they're doing the things that I think they're going to do, if they get the players they're aiming for, they're going to go based off the best player on the board at that particular time, which is going to add depth because you don't have a lot of holes in your team. So I do see that happening based off of if they're able to get those guys. But if you can't get a Khalil Mack, you can't get a Trey Hendrickson, you can't get certain key guys and key positions that you need in order to be successful, as a team, then they're gonna have target places to go. But I think they're gonna get 1 or 2 of them, and they're going to just go based off the best player on the board. And I believe that they're going to work it out to where they just like tinker the system around to get the
Wow.
best out of these players rather than just draft players that make your system run well.
Diana Rossini just said the Commanders are among many teams that are exploring potential trade for Bengals All-Pro Trey Hendrickson. Wow. Breer has connected Dahlman and Mack to the Bears. So yeah, there's again those are some interesting names there. Bear says Albert Breer has just heavily hints Bears 2 signings this week are Mack and Dahlman. Let's see. Yeah, it could potentially happen. Phil says, do the Bears then sign a player at 10? Okay, we already went over that. Billy Ocean, what's up, Billy? It's been a long time since I seen you, bud. Thanks for coming back. How about Milton Williams? I'm not mad at Milton. I wouldn't mind him at all. B Walls, thanks for coming back, buddy. B Wall says he was out of position in the Super Bowl at left tackle. Bear
Talk about Tony.
Yeah, wasn't that something you said earlier?
Yeah.
Barrelismo says Milton Williams might get a $20 million per year deal. Wow. Dominic Robinson was a wide receiver who converted to D end in year 3, though. And that's I said I got those feels about it, man. So Bear says, don't be surprised if Philadelphia Eagles retain Milton Williams. I wouldn't be surprised either. Phil says Edmonds. He wants to do that contract deal you were talking about with Edmonds. Joseph Pacentic is in the chat. What's up, buddy? Hey, man, this guy lives right on the corner from me. I see him all the time. With the trade so far, they can trade back in the first, get more picks, and draft Gray Zabel. I love that take, Joe. Make sure you hit that like button, buddy. Thanks for the comment, man. B-Wall says, with all the talk around Dahlman, we have to understand maybe he doesn't fit with what Johnson is trying to do. What do you think about that? What's your take on that?
I honestly think Poles is working well with Ben Johnson, and they probably see some in Dolman that we don't see yet. Like when you look at his when he played with Kirk Cousins, it's understandable to feel the way you do. But these coaches, I believe, if I wasn't mistaken, Ben Johnson was an offensive line, tight end, and wide receiver coach in the same year before he became an offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So these are type of things that can be coached. Now, I understand the doubt, but at the same time, I think I have faith in the coach to actually iron out those wrinkles in his game.
Yeah, for sure. Bear says Eagles have cap space and 8 draft picks in 6 rounds. Does this guy sound like an Eagles fan? I swear to God. A loaded roster with money and draft picks. Eagles going to be good for a long time. Listen, bud, this is Bears. Come on, Bear. All right, it's in your name. Let's talk Bears, man. This is not an Eagles freaking podcast. So,
it supports what I'm saying because the Eagles signed veterans as well as drafted rookies.
Yeah.
So
they do.
That's how they built their roster.
All good teams do. They understand that you can't get it out of the draft alone. I mean, but here we go with some more Madden facts. Maybe somebody eat too much sugary cereal this morning. Edmonds is staying. If his Madden rating is under 80, you won't find a trade partner. And if he's over 80, I think he's just trying to poke the bear now because he understands that everybody's getting a little frustrated with the video game ratings and stuff, man.
This is not the Jets from last year. So I don't think mentioning Madden ratings is going to be relevant to how they're making roster moves. I highly doubt that.
Waiting for the Madden update. You're not going to have, GMs with the Madden updates or taking it into a war room and saying, hey, owner of the Chicago Bears, we made this decision because the new Madden ratings are out. And his agility went up quite a bit. I don't know what happened, but we got to go with that. And then what if he says, no, adjust the slides? Like, where are we at here, Leonidas says, Bears are far from being able to draft the best player available. Well, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point,
Wait,
or is it? At only
wait,
time will tell.
but based off of what exactly? I mean, you got two linebackers that can play Batman and Robin. You
Prob-
have
probably what he's talking about is the fact that we already talked about this yesterday, and he probably watched the show where Ben Johnson said he needs nine offensive linemen. And with that
mm,
being said, we probably need 8 defensive linemen. So can you go get best available and go out and get your favorite running back or your favorite receiver or your favorite tight end? Probably to that point, no. You got to go get what your biggest need is. So that's probably what he's talking about. If that's the case, I agree with that statement. He's not far off from that for sure.
okay, I get it.
Yep. Milton Williams would be a great signing, super young. Couldn't agree with you more. I think it's good to go find those guys. Hey, and that's the same thing about Dahlman. He's young. He could get some help. Maybe his offensive line coach over there ain't as good as ours, you know. Getting a text message from somebody on our show. Let's see here. Awesome show. Had to leave. It's church time. Oh, pray for me, Cheryl. Pray for me. Pray for my internet. Pray for my internet. Oh man. Chicago dude says trade down if BPA isn't a lineman. Who's BPA? Bear says Patriots have 120. Is this more Madden facts?
He's trying to compare Bears' situation to other teams.
Oh,
And yeah, that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, because he's trying to say like, well, this team has it like this. Why aren't we maneuvering like that and stuff for that stuff like that? That's the context he's going under.
how's the
I get it.
Patriots been doing for the last umpteen years without Brady, though, dude? I mean, come on. They got rid of their favorite freaking coach, also. Let's move on. This is the Chicago Bears podcast, man. Yes, Bear always does that. B Wall says, Reunites. Would Gray Zabel be worth taking at 10 if we can't trade back? Listen, there's a lot of guys that I like. I do like Gray Zabel. I wouldn't be mad at it. I do see his value and the fact that he could play every position. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I would say yes, but others might say no. Bear says Eagles drafted O-line, D-line, and secondary. Drafted Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. They drafted Nakobe Dean. They added A.J. Brown and Barkley, but no Eagles drafted and developed their depth. Leonidas, based off of what we have, huge needs still in offensive line, defensive line. Couldn't agree more. Blindside depth is another underrated need. Agreed. All right, Phil. Bear down, Cheryl. Oops. I almost put him on timeout on accident. I want to draft and develop, not bring in other team draft picks. All right. Well, so that pretty much concludes all of our chat. We finally got through of them, but guess what, guys? This show is not the 3-letter networks and ABC, NBC, CBS. Your voice gets heard, your name comes out here, and that's why we've got over 100 in the building, because your voice gets to be heard as much as ours does, and that's why we leave it towards the end of the show where we get for you guys to show up and show out. And we appreciate all of that, guys. We've got a couple more questions here that I've got for you guys. What is the Bears' biggest? No. Let's go back. Which signing excites you the most? Smythe, Blackwell, or Amen? What would you say there with that? With a quick answer. Who's your most exciting signing there, bro?
I'm gonna go with Durham Smythe. Just because of the fact that he could add another piece and he can line up in different places on the offense and they can use him in different ways. And Ben Johnson is known for doing that. So it excites me because now you take some attention away from Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, and a doomsday. So now you got to worry about another thing, and you help the run blocking, which is pivotal as far as the offense having a young quarterback.
I'll be with you. I'm gonna do like a timeshare where it's a split house, and you got the mom, the dad, and maybe another step parent or something. I like all three. I got to go 33.3%, 33.33% for all three of them. I like Smythe, I like Blackwell, and I like Amen. When we broke it all down, they're all very valuable and they're very, very helpful. But you know what? Let's put a pin in this because it's going to be exciting when we go back and we ask the same question a few weeks into the game. Who is the most exciting re-signing out of these three? And hopefully I can remember because that would be a great show. Question number 4, and my internet works that day. What is the Bears' biggest remaining roster need? O-line, D-line, wide receiver, or something else? I'd say O-line and D-line. I'm going to do it again. I need a 50-50 ball. I need a 50-50 ball. I think are equally important. Your receivers, your wide receivers, your tight ends, your running backs, fullback, all those have to, and quarterback. They all can cook if the O-line is up and running well. Same with D-line. Those linebackers, Tremaine's going to look a lot better, guys. Tremaine is going to look a lot better. All our linebackers going to look a lot better, guys. I feel that way. Our defensive backs also, especially in Dennis Allen's system. Like I said, what's your biggest remaining roster need, guys? O-line, D-line, wide receiver, or something else? And question number 5, will the Bears make the playoffs in 2025? Yes or no?
Ooh.
All right, let's see. Phil says Bears cannot have enough O-line and D-line. Agreed. Leonidas says we signed Thuney as a known good offensive line. Don't have a clue who Jonah Jackson is outside of him being paid like a starter. As far as a concern, we still need 3 more O-line. Phil says, next week, don't forget the Sports Spectacular show in Rosemont. Jalen Johnson is signing. That's the guy who we can work on the contract. Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
That would be the 30 mil. And with the guy that you brought up earlier, Tremaine, you could probably push it into 40 mil, to be honest. But at some point, all these guys got to get paid. So you can't just load them all up because later on down the road, guess what? You're going to have to pay them. But here's a good point, too. Those networks, those TVs, and all of the streaming services, those are coming up. So a lot of smart GMs are front loading this stuff, and they're going to go ahead and pay it in the end. They're going to pay it or backloading. They're backloading contracts, and then they're going on the cheap so they can add more and make it robust in the next 2 years because they see the projections. You got to play chess and not checkers here, folks. Phil says, we already read that one. Chicago says, I'm excited to watch them block on special teams. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be fun. I think we're going to have a really good special teams, ladies and gentlemen. Cocaine Bear says, LT is Braxton week 1, and Karan is backup. Need best available tackle at pick 10. What are their Madden ratings, Bear? Scottish Bear says 55 D-line, 45 O-line. I like that. I like that split. That was slick, Scottish Bear. That guy can cook, man. I like that.
Can I give my split real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
I got 40 O-line, 50 D-line, 10% safety.
Oh, I like that. That's slick. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I took a piece of what y'all was doing and just threw that up there. We doing percentages, all right. I'll throw some percentages too.
I think I like yours better, man. I think I like yours better. That makes sense. Except I probably would flip that over to O-line, but that's only because I'm more comfortable with O-line. Listen, if I'm a little guy and all I've ever did is play receiver or play defensive back or play running back or was a small linebacker or something, I am not going to weigh in on offensive line. I've done nothing but be big, be 6'6". I was as big as 418 pounds. Okay. I've been big my whole life, and all I've ever done is look at offensive line and play, offensive line. And sometimes I played special teams. In an emergency backup situation, I play defensive line. I don't weigh in much on defensive line. I don't weigh much on defensive backs. I don't weigh much on receivers. I stay in my effing lane, and it drives me crazy when I see. And you know what? Here's the deal. And this is what really burns me up. Because you go look at about 10 years ago, nobody gave an F about a freaking offensive lineman's name. All they saw was our jersey number on our backs. You don't listen. At the end of the day, the game, you don't take a freaking microphone and give it to a damn offensive lineman and say and interview him. Nobody does that. So why in the hell are all these people are freaking geniuses when it comes to offensive linemen, and they know so much about offensive line? It drives me bananas, bro. It drives me bananas.
I'm gonna be honest with you, as a person that played DB. When you mentioned how tall you were, you gave me a painful flashback of getting hit by a pulling guard. Oh, but we're not gonna go down that part of memory lane.
The only time
but I understand what you're saying.
The only time I've really had a very, very painful hit was on special teams when I got blindsided, because you're going down like gladiators, and that's what I envisioned. It was probably, I feel alive. I feel like my skin's on fire. My hair is burning. I'm running down. I'm like a gladiator, like on Braveheart. I've got my sword and I've got my freaking shield, and we're going down full throttle. And all of a sudden my peripheral vision like just gets like this, and then boom, right off the side. And I just get depleted and my body flies like a rag doll, like 15 feet. And I look behind me and that guy's still running. And the guy's probably half my size, dude.
Yeah.
If you hit a guy and they don't see you coming, it don't take much, man. It don't take much. All right, Randall. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That's my offensive lineman coming. I knew it was bubbling. It was just a matter. When it was a matter. Yeah. Phil says O-line and D-line. Bear says no to playoffs. Leonidas says no to playoffs. Man, this stinks, man. What's Smith rated in Madden? Smythe. Probably like a 68 or something. I don't know.
Man.
Billy Ocean says a pass rush, we need players that can get to the QB. I agree, Billy. I agree. Man, our pass rush flat out stunk last year, man. Scottish Bear says yes to playoffs. Yes, Scottish Bear. I'm so happy. Next time somebody brings up Madden, I'm going to do the record scratch. Oh, man. Joseph, let me know if you're going to be at Bridges. I'll go have a couple ultras with you, buddy. Cocaine Bear says over 7 wins, hopefully not a playoff team, have a bottom 10 QB in the league right now. Whoa. He just said we got a bottom 10 QB. Oh, look at that got Chris Brown. Hey, Chris does not get, he doesn't get reactive to much at all. He doesn't get, he raised his eyebrow. He raised his eyebrow to that one.
I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to rant. And that's all I'm thinking in my mind. I'm not going to rant.
Why not? I just ranted about stupid offensive lineman nobody gives a damn about. They're talking about a QB.
It's just the same thing I've been saying. People look at stats. People look at what other people say. They don't watch the film like that. They don't see what's going on as far as like the whole team aspect of what that player is going through. You know what? Nope. I'm not doing it. Nope. Jesus, I'm not flipping out today. Nope. It's Sunday. Nope. He said what he said. I disagree. I'm gonna end it at that. I'm gonna end it at that.
Hey, could you hear my sound effect? Did my sound effects come through?
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that last one. I heard the applause though. The
Oh, you heard
applause
the
is
other?
a great one.
Okay, cool. So they did go through. All right. Illinois Jones says, bear down, everybody. Bear down, Illinois Jones. Appreciate you, buddy. Joseph says, offensive line first, and they need to spend a third or fourth rounder on a running back. Bet that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there. There's plenty. Go look at Marcus Yarns. Everybody do your due diligence right now and go look at a highlight reel, a running back, Marcus Yarns from Delaware. This guy might even go undrafted or a very, very late draft pick. When Jim Miller was down there at the Senior Bowl, he said this guy reminds him, gives him the Alvin Kamara vibes. Whoa, that's a good name. That's a good name to throw around. I could handle that. Chicago says Bears win if Caleb takes a big step. High level play from quarterbacks is how you win games, which is universal across the NFL. Couldn't agree more. Caleb is in same tier as Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson, Fields, Jameis Winston, and Cousins. I would not be mad if I was in the same boat as Cousins at all. I like that.
No, I'd be really upset if you talk about this year's Cousins, the same Cousins that had one touchdown, 9 interceptions within a month that led to him getting benched. I would be really upset.
I don't look at that because Falcons. I'm not looking at that because the Falcons were the Falcons last year, man. Honest to God, I don't even look at it.
I'm about to go on the rant, talk about what are we doing? Because how do you rate?
Dude, this is a Madden expert. Why are you even entertaining? Why are you even entertaining a Madden expert? Come on, dude. Come on.
Oh man.
Mm.
Oh man. He really did say that. That
Ugh.
really grinded my gears. But let's continue with the comments.
I like Kansas City safety Reed. Sign him for $16 million a year in free agency. He is glued to secondary. Geez, 16. Nah, that's too rich for me. All right. Sometimes these are a little interesting. We have 2 years left on Wright's years if you count his 5th-year option. Joseph Pusnick, wasting a third or fourth rounder is awful on a running back when we have bigger needs. I don't think it's a waste at all. I mean, we don't have a fourth rounder yet, though, do we? So Scottish Bear says Darnell Wright has 2 years to go and his 5th-year option. Okay. What? Aziz Ojulari, 25, edge for Giants, 22 career.
That's a goodie. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, might be a switch free agency for only $5 million a year, though. That'd be cool.
It's because when he had his time to shine, he did well with it. But the thing about it is the Brian Burns signing and the Kayvon Thibodeau pick kind of overshadowed what he can do on the field. Yeah, that's a goodie. That's a select one. I give him that one.
That's a bar? That's a bar?
That's a bar. Oh, yeah.
Okay. There we go. There's your bar. All right. Phil says both line are number one to be addressed, but is Cairo Santos short range field goal concern for you? Listen, I will tell you something that oh man, it's Kevin Butler. Kevin Butler, Hall of Famer, okay, 85 Super Bowl kicker, right? This guy told me, he says, when you get those blocks, all those blocks, when you win the offensive line, that push, 3-5 yards that way, guess what? Those hands are still up, but they're further back. So when that trajectory is low, guess what? It's a little bit higher than it was because the hands are further back. I see his point, And that is somebody that looks at everything. And he's been looking at that position for a long time, including in Georgia. All right. So I think Cairo will be all right, Phil. I think he's going to be all right. I'd still like him. Scottish Bear says, Brandon is going William Wallace and Braveheart. I love it. Sorry, man. Sorry. And I haven't even started drinking yet. No, but I had a monster, and that's really bad to have when you have internet issues, and then I'm trying to play the freaking tight end freaking video, and I keep playing Blackwell's freaking video several times. Oh, man. But guess what? We're having a good time. There's still 80 people in the building. We must be doing something right, or they're laughing their butts off saying these guys are, something else. Montana Shy says, what's up, everyone? Bear down, Montana Shy. Appreciate you. Hey, did you ever get that, what is it called? Moderator tag? I think you did for YouTube, man. Appreciate you. Tell the bear to get off the cocaine, please. You ever notice I try to say his name Bear? You ever notice I just try to say his name Bear? I don't try to say cocaine. Leonidas says, I think we need to trade Brisker and get what we can for him. He's proven he can't play smart and consistently injures himself. So listen, I do want to weigh in on the injury. Doug Plank had a really good point. How many concussions do you think he hasn't reported? How many concussions did they have? How many concussions do you think guys back in the day before we knew that they were, got a little smelling salt? You got your bell rung. I came to. I had a little help. I'm all right now. I stopped seeing the black dots in my eyeball, and now all of a sudden, I'm fine. I'm fine, coach. Put me back in. We're making it bigger than it is. If he went and saw the specialist and they cleared him and he says he's okay, he's all right. I think Brisker is going to be all right. And I mean, that's what Doug Plank said. So I'm going to go off of that. Because I'm not a specialist. I'm not a safety specialist. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely not a concuss, even though I've had several. And maybe that's where you guys could see some issues already. It's not the internet. It's my head that keeps getting detached. Jones says, based on last season, I think with this new coaching staff alone, we'll add 4 wins. Playoff contenders for sure. That's a bar. I like that. I really do like that. I like that because we had 7 wins the year before, Bear says relief Brisker done investigating in him or investing. He's just mad because Madden won't let him play him because he's still on IR. They won't let me play my boy.
The thing about it is that if he comes back and he shows that level of production he's capable of, then what?
He's so good. I like him. We got rid of Amos. We got rid
Adrian
of
Amos.
I love that guy. He really made Eddie Jackson cook. I think Eddie Jackson might still be around with that guy. We got rid of him too soon. I like that kid from Penn State. I thought he was slick. Again, disclaimer, I don't know diddly squat when it comes to safeties. I know some, but I don't know as much as other guys in that position or guys like Doug Plank. But I like Amos, man. I was disappointed he went to the Packers too. What say you, bro?
I think when you get safeties, it's like a 1-2 punch. And thing about it is that when one side lacks, the other guy has to be able to pick up or be able to do well. So usually you have like one guy that's like in the box and another guy that could play the deep safety. And because that's what it is. Sometimes you have guys that could do both, and you can just you could use them and maneuver them in different ways. And when you separate them from that partner they have with back end, sometimes they struggle, and we've seen that with Eddie Jackson, and some would say you've seen it with Javon Holland this year because Carter went to another team. So it really is tricky. It's more about defensive scheme and how you get the best out of these guys. And sometimes when you pull a piece from that defense, you kind of take away that guy that they trust on the opposite side to be the Batman to their Robin. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it makes safety play so difficult because Adrian Amos was a dude that line up, and if you throw something across the middle, yeah, you're gonna feel him run up and try to smack you across the field. But Eddie Jackson was that guy when it came to the back end. He was able to defend the passes and stuff like that.
Hold on. Breaking news from Adam Schefter. From trade to truce and beyond, the Browns and Myles Garrett reached an agreement today on a record contract extension that averages $40 million per year and includes $123.5 million guaranteed money, and now makes him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history. Sources tell ESPN Garrett agent Nicole Lynn of Clutch with a K Sports and Browns GM Andrew Berry finalized the deal today. When you are on, listen to me, folks. When you are on the air, as much as we are, you get to have breaking news like we do today. When your rants are as long as ours are and you got so many miscues, eventually something is going to go right. And this is right. We are getting breaking news right now that this guy right here, and I'm about ready to go have a beer with Joseph because this really breaks my heart. I love this guy. And look at him. Look at Chris Brown is shedding a tear. He's getting sad.
No. It's the fact of the matter is, I thought it was weird yesterday when they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract again. I was like, why are they doing that? They restructured it literally yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would they restructure it? Now it explains it. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it like this. Whoever his agent is, ma'am, take a bow. Because you just I'm in disbelief. I'm in disbelief.
Look at this guy. He looks very svelte, very nice in a blue and orange uniform. This breaks my heart that he's got to look all ragamuffin in this. He looks like a ragamuffin there. Look at the navy blue and the orange, man.
He literally asked for a trade about a month ago.
Bro, he knew what he was doing. I guarantee you, this is staged. This is something that his agent, hey, shout out to Clutch Sports, man. Take a bow.
Yeah, chief, and that's that one.
Phil, what is wrong with you, Phil? Monster and vodka's good drink first thing in the morning? Oh, my gosh. Dude, you lost an hour of sleep, too. We sprung forward. That means you're drinking it freaking really early.
Ain't that not that much time was taken from daylight savings. That's crazy.
Look at Joseph. Beer. It's not just for breakfast anymore. Oh my gosh. Montana Shy says, yes, sir. I appreciate it. No, I appreciate you. Just thank you very much, Montana Shy, for taking that. We definitely need you to take care of the streets. Freaking neighborhood watch you got going on here. Chicago dude says Cocaine Bear doesn't eat breakfast because all that blow kills his appetite. Oh my God. Jeez, oh Pete. The one that I read all the way through. Illinois Jones, Leonidas, are you saying coaching doesn't matter? Oh boy. Here we go.
Sound about to get active in the comments.
Yeah.
Let me take this last sip of iced tea.
Yeah, there you go. I'm holding Caleb, the generational talent #1 pick accountable. Time to perform and elevate the play of guys around you. Take another sip, bro. Take another sip.
I ran out after what he said about that old comparison bit. I've been out of iced tea. Like you still need the coaching. The coaching matters.
Yeah.
The system matters.
Yep.
Who they put as far as who's the leader of the team, as far as organizational standpoint, matters.
Like offensive line matters, and having an offensive line coach and having a coach that actually freaking goes over freaking video with you, goes over film. He had nobody going over film with him, man. And I'm telling you what, when you have film, you don't look over Madden film like you do, you stooge. I'm telling you right now, don't get my
that's crazy.
Dude,
He
Unbelievable.
based it off of Madden overalls.
He's just getting fired up. He doesn't know. We love Bear, dude. He's a great guy. He's just a little crazy, but they aren't we all?
I hope Bear is just playing around on this Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I really do, because you're going off of Madden ratings, bro.
I tell you what, Sunday morning, don't drink a Monster. Don't drink a lot of coffee because it gets wild in here. You know, I don't want to get all crazy and a buck on the Lord's Day either. You know, Bear says Brown's smart for the you never let greatness out the door. I agree.
Yeah.
Holy cow. It's a lot of money. He was never leaving Cleveland. Stop it, Billy. Stop it. Quit saying that my dreams don't matter, Billy. Shame on you, Billy.
Why are you going to rub it in? Why? I thought we were all cool.
I tell you what,
rub
if
it
we
in.
would have offered him 41 million or somebody else or the Eagles or somebody like that, I guarantee he would have left Cleveland. Just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, he had a no trade clause, so it was up to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, here we go. Bear says, I wish we would have Raquan. Man, why does he go live in the past and live in other people's locker rooms and on Madden? He wasn't ever getting traded. Return of the Mac. Okay. Phil says, ha! Must be talking about that Monster and vodka. Never was worth the money. I don't want to pay Hendrickson $60 million guaranteed for 2 years and Bears not have a title contender. Listen, I will tell you this much, Bear. I keep saying this time and time again. Washington had no idea that with a 4-win season, they would be NFC North, or not NFC North, NFC conference for the championship. They were one game away from being in the Super Bowl. They were a top 4 team in the NFL after being 4-win team the year before. So sit and marinate on that one, pal.
New head coach, new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
28th ranked defense and a rookie quarterback. And they went to the NFC Championship.
Sound very similar to what we got here, minus the rookie quarterback. Sound like a lot what we got going on here. Just saying. It could happen. Not saying it is, but it's a possibility. Never live in yesteryear when you've got today and the future is a mystery, okay? Or some, I forgot what was said on Kung Fu Panda, but it was pretty cool.
Got a Kung Fu Panda quote.
Yeah, I got a Kung Fu Panda quote. I got kids, dude. My daughter's 20 years old. Of course I got a Kung Fu Panda quote. I used to look like Kung Fu Panda. We got all the cool moves. Bear says,
I have one from Frozen in a bit then, because my kids are 4 and 5.
There you go. Yep. My son's 9. I got a lot of man, they love that what is that? Fortnite. They love the Fortnite. Bear says, what? Diana Rossini just said something. The Bengals better get moving. Seahawks asking price for Metcalf lowered per sources. Seattle would be open to return centered around a second-round pick for the 2-time Pro Bowl receiver. Second-round pick? Okay. He still wants $30 million per year, so if you can make it work, go ahead, but I'm not interested for the Bears, even though that guy is a generational talent. He's amazing. Bear said,
second-round pick?
Yeah. Bear says you pay these free agents if a title contender. They 1 year, 2 year short-term fix, not a 5-8 year long-term fix. Jones says, I have a feeling Chicago is in for another Mac attack. I hope we can get Trey. Montana Shy says 123 million guaranteed is crazy. I agree, man. People seem to quickly forget how Mac fell off after the first year, was not getting the same pressure, wasn't penetrating the line, and then rode the bench remainder of his term here. What?
Um,
That's
last time, he was injured for a good part of that year, and because of the fact that he was on the field, Robert Quinn went on a tear for 18 sacks. So sometimes it's not always the sack numbers; it's what you do when you're on the field and how you can free up under players because of your greatness. But
yeah. Chicago
not
says
important, right?
last time the Bears had a winning record was under head coach Nagy. It's not Madden where players perform according to their ratings based off the previous year. Yeah, I mean you cannot there's free agency, there's trades, there's coaches, all kinds of things are going on. You can't go off of yesteryear at all. And there's a lot of games that the Bears could have won had you had good selections and good healthy choices made by competent coaches. Listen, I firmly believe that we had a downward spiral off of the Hail Mary play against Washington, and Washington did the opposite. They went all the way up after that because remember, everybody was booing the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. And then they started singing his praises again. They said, oh, man, I'm so glad the Bears didn't go get him, even though they got that Caleb connection and all of that. And he starts off strong with the air raid like he did down in Texas. And then he just fizzles out. Guess what? He was in the NFC Championship, okay? Everything doesn't stay the same, man. Everything doesn't stay the same. We don't have it all figured out. I know I don't have it all figured out. I don't know diddly squat. I don't know crap. I'm just a fan here, But anyways, yeah. So I said, will the Bears make the playoffs? It sounds like we got about a 50-50 squad in the chat. Have you weighed in on that yet?
I think they can make the playoffs this year. I honestly do.
What's up, Bizzo Joe? Yeah,
I honestly do. I think Detroit takes a step back from losing its coordinators. I think that Minnesota may struggle depending on what they do after Sam Darnold. Only thing that's left is Green Bay.
Right.
And we don't know what type of Green Bay we're getting because we've seen Jordan Love the year before, second half of the season go on a tear. Last year, he was giving away a ball at too high of a clip. So I honestly think that this team is, as far as their division is concerned, they're set that they can actually take over this division and no one can really see it coming like that and actually make a deep playoff run. I honestly think they have an opportunity to because I feel like the iron's hot right now. They're ascending. Every other team is either descending or flat.
Very smart. Very smart take. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate everybody in the chat right now. But before we close, I want to close on a good ending. And please, internet, please don't fail me. I want to play back our videos again. Let's play back our videos again. Let's have some fun, dude. Let's watch our videos. Hold on a second.
Gotta do that.
Yep. Let me get back into it. It's still playing. What is it? Is it like playing on like repeat or something? It's crazy. All right.
The videos been like, I've been here the whole time. I'm just waiting on you.
I believe they can make the playoffs, Illinois Jones said. All right. Let's share the screen. Here we go.
All right.
From the top. See it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. This is our Smythe highlight reel, guys. Enjoy. Get your popcorn. We didn't get shut down this time like yesterday. Oh, look at that, dude. Look at that hurdle. It just gets better, doesn't it?
It's the positioning in the zone. in the zone coverage.
You like that little flash?
That little slight wiggle kind of added more space to throw the ball.
He's always trying to do something, ain't he?
QB friendly.
Yeah.
QBs love guys like this.
Yeah.
What? You sit down in the zone, you don't overrun it, you don't run into coverage, you give me a window to throw? Oh yeah, we friends.
Look at all those Ravens around him, man. Look at all those Ravens around him. Jeez.
But look how he slowed down before he reached the safety.
Right.
Like those things, it's just the little things that can make it easier for a quarterback to throw you the ball and trust you when he targets you. Oh, okay, I guess we back to this again. I guess we just can't have a traditional show today without me having to do my little ad lib. So we can run through everything that went down today. One, we went over the signings. One was Durham Smythe, the other one was Blackwell. And these guys, they show we have film on them that shows that they can contribute special teams and add depth to the secondary. Smythe as a pass blocker and as a pass catcher. He shows wiggle to break within zone coverages to give his quarterback openings, and he's a hand catcher. Oh, we're back to the video. All right. Fighting for extra yards. That's tough, Pat. And then out in the wheel.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I guess we're doing it again. Oh, I was about to say, hold on. All right. But everyone, I honestly am really excited for these signings we got up, added depth, and like just as far as the movements we've done this offseason, it seemed to be projecting in a pretty good direction. I have faith in the coaching staff, and I have faith in the GM that they're gonna come together and put a product on the field that we're gonna love this year.
What'd you guys lose me? Was I gone for a while?
Yeah, you kind of dipped out a little bit, then the video came back on, and then you came back.
Oh, so we lost the internet again. Okay. All right. Gosh darn it, man. Hey, well, let's watch the last video because I really like that one. I like the Blackman too. Hold on. Where is it at? There we go.
Operation this time, trying to pin everybody deep, and it's fielded on the far sideline. It's Blackwell, a little bit of trickery in the special teams game, and Blackwell is going to take it all the way for a Chicago touchdown. 94-yard return, his first career punt return touchdown, and the Bears take a 6-0 lead.
Great job by the Bears special teams and Richard Hightower. It's one of those situations. Where is the returner? Where is the football? Because you're going to think he's over there, but he's actually up here. And nobody from Green Bay really locates that punt as it's going downfield. And they
to get that touchdown on the board for Chicago.
Great sell job, because the one thing DJ Moore can't do backed up inside his 10 is...
I love that fake punt video. I could watch that all day, man. That's so freaking cool. You want to know why? Because we got it on the freaking Packers, man. Leave it in the comments below if that excites you. Right, FGB, man. Right, FGB. Closing thoughts. You got anything that you want to add, brother, before we leave?
Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I have faith in what they're putting together. I see it, and I believe we're going to add more depth. I feel like come draft time, there's going to be a lot of shocking things done in a pleasant way. So I have faith in Ryan Pohl. I believe they got the coach, and now we got to get the roster together. What do you think?
Bro, I tell you what, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's a hard act to freaking follow. Swear to God, I wish you would have left me something. But you're like you're like my buddy eating the chicken. He can take a whole chicken wing and just take all the meat off the bone, one pull. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm still haven't successfully done that yet. I've tried, but it don't work. I have to take the bones out first. The flats, I gotta take the bones out first. I can't do it like that. I mess my teeth up, man.
Hold on. Let me look at something. Somebody just brings up a good point. I'm gonna look up Jim Miller the other day. He our co-host, shout out to him.
Okay, we have another internet issue, and now you're staring at my forehead a little bit longer. We're gonna wait for Brandon to come back. And I hope you guys are enjoying what we're putting together right now, because let's be honest, what the Bears are doing, I feel like it's going to be something that we're going to look back at and be like, yeah, they got this right with the coaching decision, the GM decision, and stuff like that. I see like they're building something where we're going to look at it and look at it and say they don't have any holes anywhere on this roster. So with a coach like Ben Johnson, I think offensively we're going to be a whole lot better. With the defensive coordinator like Dennis Allen, I feel we're going to be a whole lot more aggressive. And we're going to attack, not just sit back in zone coverage. So when it's game time, when the game's on the line, we're not going to sit back and say, why are you in cover 4 every play? I feel like we're going to rush the passer hard this year.
I have a video on that I want to play, not right now, but we're going to break down zone coverage, cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, cover 0, all that kind of stuff. We got a lot of stuff moving forward now that we're figuring all this stuff out. That's why I got to call freaking Xfinity and see what the heck's going on with my internet. All right, so this Jim Miller sent me this February 21st. This is the schedule, okay? This is right after they raised the season tickets 10% up. Leave it in the comments below if you think that's redunculous. The home schedule features games against the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Saints. So right away, I'll tell you what I like here. I like our chances against the Lions because we got a better look at them now that we got Ben in the building. I obviously like our chances against the Packers, at least one win there. Believe it or not, the outlier Vikings, they concern me more than anybody. There's a big question mark there, but I do think we could take at least one away from them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they could potentially grab 2. Not worried or scared about the Cowboys at all. Not worried or scared about the Giants. The Browns are questionable, but I think we could get past them, especially since we're going to be at home. And the Steelers, I don't feel comfortable about the Steelers, but I wouldn't be surprised if we pulled one out. And the Saints, I think we can get past the Saints for sure. Which means for playing away, we're going to play Philly, Washington. This is where it gets tough. Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions. And most likely an AFC one-off. So
I think we have a winning record at home and we go 500 on the road.
Yeah. That's safe. That's safe to say for sure.
I say minimum 5-3 at home, and I say 4-4 on the road, because those first 4 teams you named, Jesus Crow. That's all playoff teams, right? Playoff caliber teams right there.
Rough. Leave it in the comments below what you guys think is going to happen. What your guys is with what we just laid out. But before we go, help us hit the 3,000 subscribers, guys. When we get there, one lucky subscriber wins a free NFL jersey of their choice. All you got to do is like this video, share it with your friends, make sure you're locked in for all things Bears, and make sure you're the most active in the building. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Bear down, and we'll see you next time, guys.